So, Kevin, now you gotta do a compilation of us dying a lot and also make another video of how to do it, because I bet people are gonna try to figure out how to do it.
I started the 𝑬𝒏𝒅𝒄 quest at a light level around 545, and my friend was 550 something. And we finished most of the Shattered Throne dungeon together with just the two of us. You heard that right. With just 2 skilled players at around that light level, you can get through most of this dungeon and the 𝑬𝒏𝒅𝒄 quest. Having done this in different ways at a lower level with just 2 in the fire team, I have a lot of useful tips to share that some other YouTubers may have not come across or needed to use. And if you're experiencing any glitches like losing the orb and it not being at the spawn location, doors not opening, etc., I can help you overcome those ones as well, because we were determined to do anything to get that dang bow. You can find lots of powerful gear and prime engrams going through this dungeon, so it's also beneficial as it will get your light level up and unlock some triumphs. I will put times of each section in a pinned comment post and in the description box below to help you out so you can skip to the part you're on if you need to, or if you watch the video and need to come back to it later. There will be a blog, video, and podcast version of this walkthrough. So if you guys find this video helpful, please give it a like so other players will know that it's helpful and so more players can get the bow. Share the video so they can see this. I make lots of Destiny 2 and gaming videos, so become a subscriber and claim that exotic subscribe button. Now what you've been waiting for, let me help you get that bow. You will find our boy Tolan occasionally throughout this dungeon. Tolan! It's not necessary to get him, but he gives some great quotes as always. His job is to say some cool stuff, lead you places, and play some hide and seek. I mean, he's floating there all day. He has nothing better to do. And to give you a quest in Fourhorn Gulch, but we'll get to that later. The recommended power level starts at 570 and goes all the way up to 590. This dungeon was released on the 4th week of Forsaken on September 25th and lasted through October 2nd, and it rotates every 3 weeks. A good rule to follow is when the Taken presence is strongest in the Dreaming City, where you'll see tons of blights in the air. First, get to the dungeon. Go to Dreaming City near where the Oracle is at, Spine of Keres, to this bridge. Look right and jump down to this rocky area, and there's actually a portal in this little cave that will take you straight to the room where you need to go. Follow it and approach this enormous portal and it will say the Shattered Throne, Bungie's Dark Souls-esque like dungeon. The first part of the dungeon is the icon stage, where you track down the symbols that pop up after killing the Labyrinth Architect for each respective area. If you've done the raid, you'll be very familiar with these. Guns I used here were the Scout Rifle and Sweet Business in conjunction with Actium War Rig, which is really good with the Titan. It's one of the highest DPS guns in the game and makes it even higher with the Auto Rifle Reload perk, and it's really good to use in under-leveled areas, since you're brute forcing the enemy's health away. Other good choices of course include Sleeper Simulant, the 𝑬𝒙𝒐𝒕 shotgun, and a sniper like Whisper of the Worm. I'm not sure if both the hologram icons and the ones on the wall are different every time, but I'm going to assume it's just the hologram ones. For us, the first icon was Fire-Breathing Dragon, and the icon on the wall was Diving Bird. If you find a group of enemies, that's a good indication you're in the right place for your symbol. We went in and made a left. Down the bridge was the Infinite Snake icon. But before going down the bridge, make a left in the little building and there's the Fire-Breathing Dragon icon on the wall. Be careful of the snipers. We didn't wipe at this part, but I'd assume if you die, it will either start you at the beginning or start you at whatever your most recent icon is. Our next one was Fish. If you climb to the top of the building at the beginning via the rocks and look ahead to the right, you'll find the single fish icon. Our next symbol was the bird, and if you stay up on the roof and look at this big tower building, you'll see the bird icon on the inside. Our next symbol was double fish. So just turn back and go on the bridge near the snake infinity sign and near the fire-breathing dragon one. Our next symbol was the infinity snake, so we just had to go back up to that bridge area. Our next was the two-headed snake we called Cloud, which we found in the center building on the bottom where you first approach upon entry. You can climb on the roof and shoot safely from up there if you'd like. Our next symbol was Diving Bird, which was located nearby in a building in a rocky area to the right of the single fish. After killing the final Labyrinth Architect, you will be rewarded with some powerful gear which dropped at 10 higher light level points for me. And the floor will open up, which will lead you to the next section where you will journey to the spire. The area will show the descent, and you have to do exactly what it says. You could follow the path, but for a shortcut, look left to that bridge and look down. You'll use a scout rifle or sniper to pick off those enemies first. Then you'll drop down to that area. I recommend the same weapons for this area. but stick with mid to long range until you get closer to the enemies. Make sure to take out the snipers up top. Kill ads. As you go up the stairs to the right, there will be a surprise shield cabal chilling in the corner waiting for you. At the top, you need to take down 𝑬𝒏𝒅𝒄, set apart, before it will open the door to let you advance to the next section. You do not have a checkpoint yet, so do not die here. You would think running through this area might save time, but it will not, as you'll just get sniped. Have your whole team get out your snipers, use Whisper, and if you headshot these enemies, even though you're at a low light level, you'll take them out easy. There are 2 knights immediately to both the left and right. Kill them first by peeking around the corners of the door from afar. You'll make your way across the ledge, jump on the bridge, finish sniping the enemies easily here. If you run out of ammo, you can empty all your ammo if you need to in order to get it back, or you can jump off and have a teammate revive you so you can get ammo back. There's also lots of ammo from the downed enemies. Your choice. Go up the steps until you reach the still beam room. This should be a checkpoint. Either slowly approach ahead on the still beams or have one teammate go ahead while 2 stay back. Use snipers and sleeper to take down the ogres that spawn. Don't go next to the spinning orbs around the blights or they will knock you off hard. Once you make it to the other side, it'll say press onward. Prepare your loadout before entering this room, but don't worry, this is a checkpoint, so if you die, which you might because this room sucks, you'll have plenty of times to try. Use area of effect attacks or weapons that can take down lots of weak enemies quick, such as rocket launchers, grenade launchers, shotguns, sweet business, pulse grenades, supers. The difficulty isn't the strength of the enemies, it's the number of them, as they spawn infinitely until you pass the area, so don't waste your time just killing enemies here. Plus you will be slowed and cannot double jump, which makes it easier for the thrall to surround you and kill you. If you have some PTSD from the Dark Below raid in Destiny 1, yeah, it's kinda like that. The music, like a lot of the Forsaken music, is pretty awesome, so enjoy that while you're being chased. Go up the stairs and you can jump on the platform and kill some thralls so your team can get a small breather. Then jump off and make a hard left. Don't go straight down the stairs, but hang right and go along the ledge and drop down, as it's faster and will help you avoid some chasing thrall. Make a hard right and go up another set of stairs. Ideally, have the person behind the leader shoot the thrall trying to attack your teammates. The person in the lead can turn around and walk backwards and shoot the thrall chasing you. So that way you're all helping each other out. But you only need one team member to make it through this and spawn you to the checkpoint. Keep going up the stairs and make a hard left, then make another left. You can use another ledge here if you need to. There's a long hallway with a balcony, and as soon as you jump off the balcony, you're free. Use your double jump or lift ability to break your fall. Have your teammate go to the door or the next area to spawn the next checkpoint, and despawn thrall if you're stuck in the previous room still. New objective will say cross the chasm. You'll go straight, do some jumping, make a right across the locked door, use snipers and avoid the taken blasts coming from the walls. You'll go up the stairs and take down these enemies. Snipers are still perfect here. It will say the descent and go around the corridor, drop down the balcony and go through the openings. You'll arrive in 𝑬𝒏𝒅𝒄, where it'll inform you to overcome the Keeper of Petitions. You'll approach the cliff face and see 4 lit circle areas. This is the room of the first boss fight. Welcome to hell. The boss fight sucks, but the music here is amazing. So, what we did was a cheese, which will probably be fixed at some point. The cheese is the 3-2-1-0 and leave glitch, by having the party leader leave and inviting the teammate back. If done right, the name will still be there and usually the player emblem is invisible. Wait for your teammate to come back, then step down and you beat the boss and get some powerful loot. If you can't do the cheese, you have to do it the legit way. Your team should have void weapons and void supers. Sleeper or the 𝑬𝒙𝒐𝒕 shotgun and a sniper is a must, and make sure you have heavy ammo if you can and have your supers and abilities before heading down, because you're going to need all of it. Drop down in the corner to the left and drop a healing rift and titan barrier if you can. Kill the ads first, because the goblins will make both enemies and the wizards immune, which is annoying, and the snipers will snipe you with scary accuracy if you're not behind cover, and if you're at a low light level you will die. Do a revive party if necessary and keep reviving each other and kill the first wizard at the entrance. This drops a buff and you have to collect all 4 to dunk it into one of these white circle areas to remove the shield from the ogre so you can attack the ogre. For each area of enemies you can agree to use 1 super in each area, because you have a short time limit until the buff goes away, but the time limit will renew when you collect the next buff. Either take out the wizard's void shield and use sleeper and a good shotgun, or you use your super and take out the wizard and ads and repeat the whole way around. Watch out for any open areas behind you because there's a good chance the ogre will be firing its lasers at you. Whatever strategy you choose, keep going around until you get all 4 buffs and have one team member be the one to dunk it. Have someone shoot at the ogre to get aggro and distract him so he doesn't kill your teammate. If you all die and revive and don't have the buffs, you can keep going around and trying until you do. Use whatever you got to kill the the ogre, and you'll have to repeat this process until you kill the ogre. After killing the ogre, or skipping him, pat yourselves on the back, then you'll go up the stairs and see a statue of a woman holding a bow. Approach her and listen. This is the next step for the bow quest, so do not pass the statue up. If you haven't yet, present your pink cock to her and stroke it and give it some comfort. I'm talking about the poultry petting emote, of course. You will present her your talisman, and it will show new mission available. It will not show on the map because Bungie does not want you to find it, I guess. Now, you have two choices here. You do not have to finish the dungeon to get the bow. You can go ahead and go to the Tangled Shore into Four-Horn Gulch, complete the new mission, and find someone who has a checkpoint at the beginning of the dungeon. If not, you'll have to complete the dungeon so you can come back to the start, and if you can't complete it, you'll have to wait for the 3-week rotation until the mission comes back and start at the beginning of the dungeon. I'll quickly go over the rest of the dungeon. You can use the pin times or the ones in the description box below to skip where you need to go. You'll continue forward and jump down the platforms to the lift area. If you die, you have the checkpoint after the boss. You'll kill the witches. They're at a high power level of 590 with solar shields, so use solar and take away their shields and just grind their health down with a sleeper, a good shotgun, or snipers. Sniper headshots still do an insane amount of damage once their shields are down. Go up the lift, snipe and kill the enemies. Go up the next lift, snipe and kill the enemies however you like. Rinse and repeat. Just keep moving forward, eventually go up the steps and up the next lift, kill some more enemies. Go up the stairs to the right through the open door. There will be some more beams and Cabal who will try to blast you off. I use my Titan Arc Super to get across and kill the Cabal. There will be a cliff face with some taken blasts, similar to the Whisper challenge. Just take your time, be patient for the blast to go off, jump, kill any snipers, and you'll be fine. Once you make it to the end, you'll go up the stairs in one long lift. Then you'll go up another. You'll see a wizard and 3 knights, and you'll have a new objective to face 𝑬𝒙𝒒 and 𝑘'𝒊𝒔𝒉. Again, you have 2 options here. There are some cheeses that can make this challenge easier. If you need to leave and come back, you'll still have the checkpoint. Once you start it, Thrall will also spawn on either side. Ideally, have 2 teammates on the statues at the start where they will be safe from the knights. Have them use grenades when the Thralls spawn on either side and take the Thrall out first. As of right now, the knights freeze for the players at the top of the statues, and the players can just keep shooting them, even when they're shielded to keep aggro. You can do the 3-2-1-0 leave glitch to despawn Thrall, but that will probably be taken out soon. Titans with the new Void Super also has a glitch where if you collect the buffs and before you die, use your super and hold LT to use the Sentinel Shield Wall. You will keep the buff and not die. It may not show the buff, but shoot the boss and you'll see that you still can do damage. Whenever this no longer works, Bungie patched it. With this glitch, don't shoot the crystal and just focus on killing the boss and staying alive. Because if you die, you lose the buff. If you can't do it the cheese way, try to get all 3 knights at a sliver of health and then kill them all at the same time. Then have your whole team demolish the witch with supers, sleeper, whisper, etc. If you can't kill the wizard in the first round, the knights will be shielded from a purple crystal. Destroy the crystal to unshield the knights, but when you destroy the crystal, you will have to kill Thrall ads again. Get rid of them, stay on the statues, and take down the knights. You can even have one player distract the wizard and take aggro even if the wizard is shielded, so the wizard won't come over to the players at the statues and kill them. If players at the statue die, you can wait for the knights to despawn before spawning. Once you kill the wizard, congrats, you finished the dungeon. The fire team raid layer, so to speak. You'll get another piece of really powerful gear and have unlocked some triumphs for completing the dungeon. If you're at a low light level, definitely pat yourself on the back. Again, me and a friend did most of the dungeon with just the 2 of us and at a very low light level compared to the 570 to 590 recommendation. If you still need to get the bow, keep watching. You'll see Tolan chilling at this building here in Four-Horn Gulch at the Tangled Shore. You'll have to start the mission and prove your worth. It'll spawn you into the mission and it'll just have 3 question marks. You'll follow the nav point to this cave and it'll tell you to find what has been lost. If I lost something in this area, it would stay there because I would never come back and you'll eventually see why. Anyway, cross the mini chasm, venture further into the cave that says 𝑬𝒙𝒒's Rest. It'll tell you to delve deeper. The power level here is 580 and up, so expect enemies to once again hurt if your light level is low. Kill the Thrall. Use a sniper or sleeper or your weapon of choice to kill the Archer's Bane wizard. Just take your time and you'll be fine. Enemies sometimes group up together, so rockets or supers are nice here. You'll go through a dark cave area. There will be some platforms with some knights and snipers. Just snipe them and take them out. 𝒕lin will tell you to claim what has been lost. If you venture into this cave area, a ton of thrall will spawn. Kill them, there will be more adds, blights, and another powerful Archer's Bane wizard you have to kill. Take down the void shield and use a sniper to take her out. There will be a few ogres up ahead. Kill the enemies in these dark rooms up here. Once the enemies are gone, the blight blocking the next room will vanish and you can continue onward. There will be acolytes' eyes that will keep spawning. Just have one player move forward while the other two focus on killing the eyes and follow the player who went ahead. The player who went ahead, a sniper or two will spawn. Have everybody help and take the snipers out. Jump through the platforms. You'll see 𝒕lin again. You'll enter a room with pillars and a statue. Kill adds and focus on taking out the Archer's Bane wizard like before. There will be a fun purple ball you can move around. Not sure if it does anything. You will enter another room with a huge blight and drums start playing. So you know things are getting serious, and indeed they are. Have a team member hang back in case the other two die, and have some teammates go forward and destroy the blights with an auto shotgun or a weapon of their choice. After the blight is destroyed, a ton more enemies will spawn. Kill them, watch out for hobgoblin snipers. Take down the Archer's Bane wizards with the same strats as before. I use Sweet Business and the Actium War Rig. Once the enemies are down, the blight will fall and vanish. You'll think it's over, but the fun has just begun. The back room will be blocked off so you can't leave. And there will be souls floating around the room watching you to see if you can prove your worth. They are watching you to see if you'll mess up. The dead are judging your every move. Don't mess up. Kill the enemies and prove your worth to them, because guardians prove their worth by killing stuff. After that, we'll have to kill an ogre, a knight, a captain, and a huge minotaur. If you die, there is a checkpoint at the beginning of the boss fight. The bosses will not attack until you shoot one, so you have a chance to make a plan and do some damage. Huge tip! My recommendation is to have one player hide behind these stairs while the other two fight so the team will not have to start over. These stairs you can hide behind are on the right side of the map when you're looking from the entrance. Make sure you're all the way back in the corner or the enemy blast still can hurt you. It's helpful to have a titan with barricade in case you need to use it, but you really shouldn't. The player hiding behind the stairs can be risky and pop out every now and then, but that's up to you. Ideally, keep one team member hiding behind the stairs and have the other two, or in our case one, destroy the bosses. Take down the blights or adds will keep spawning. Let the other players revive themselves if they die while a player hides behind the stairs and you guys will be fine. Because otherwise there really isn't a place to hide if you don't hide behind these stairs. Once all 4 bosses are dead, it'll say mission complete and you'll get 3 tokens. Dreaming Token of 𝒏𝒅𝒄, Dreaming Token of 𝒏𝒄𝒉, and Dreaming Token of 𝒏𝒄𝒔𝒉. Now you need to go back to the Dreaming City and to the Shattered Throne and kill these 3 bosses to charge these tokens. If you didn't beat the Shattered Throne, it will start at whatever checkpoint you left off with, so you can benefit someone else anyway who hasn't had the chance to start the Shattered Throne. It'll be easier this time around since you know what to do now, but there will be a few different things you need to do for these tokens to get the exotic bow. For this part, we did have 3 in our fire team. Ascend to the highest point to a rocky area and gazebo area and enter where you will find an orb. You will have to take this orb around and to the other side to the statue that is missing the orb. I've also seen a video where a player threw it to the other player on the other side, so you can also try that too. Once the orb is placed, the boss will spawn, a huge minotaur named Theratos Archer's Bane. Have supers and heavies ready. When you get its health down to about half, or not sure if it's timed, another minotaur will spawn and in the bottom left it will say old grudges live again. This is 𝒏𝒅𝒻 the Waking, the boss you need to kill for the token. You can actually crouch at the end or edge of the roof and use the top part for cover. In some cases, if you're far away enough while you're crouching at the edge of the roof, they won't even attack back and will just stand there and take it. Once you kill the bosses, it will say you are worthier in the bottom left and you'll get the charged Waking token of 𒒏𝒅𝒻. After, you'll continue through the dungeon like normal until you get to the beam room. Go across the beam and to the platform on the right to find an orb next to 𝒕lin. Grab it and go to the right side of the wall. Keep going along the right side until you find an empty statue. Slam the ball into her. There's one more orb that will be in the dark thrall room where you're slowed. Before you enter the room, let me give some tips. It will really help you out. So what Bungie wants you to do is, and of course there will be a but at the end of this, as soon as you enter the room, you'll be making a right. A good tip is you can jump in melee with the orb to walk faster. Just jump, melee, jump, melee. Avoid targeting the thrall when you're meleeing. The other 2 teammates should be doing their best to protect the person because it can be glitchy here where if you die the orb won't respawn. And there's some other glitches that will derail your progress I'll help you out with. That'll help you guys get past if you encounter them that are up ahead. And if you die, the previous statue will not have the orb and the location will also not have the orb. And you need both statues to have the orb. So if you die here, you're kind of fucked. If your fire team dies, you'll probably have to leave the area and come back in until Bungie fixes this, if they ever do. When you spawn back in, you'll have to put the first orb in the beam area back in. And you'll have to again try not to die with the orb in the thrall area. If you think this bug is annoying, there's more potential ones ahead. So here's the big but I was talking about and a trick you guys can try. But instead, have 2 of your teammates go ahead and have one stay behind outside the door of the thrall room. Have one make it to the other end and despawn the thrall. Then grab the orb and you can waltz your way to the end without any thrall interfering. I didn't try it myself because I didn't realize that would work until we made it to the other side. Try that. You're welcome. You'll jump down the balcony with the orb, turn right and slam it into the statue. Ahead down the hall, you'll notice a previously closed door is now open. You'll have to go in, fight mobs and a captain boss. Stay away from the door areas or the boss and enemies will despawn. Also, in cases where we died, the door was closed. So I had to jump on the statue and use my Titan Arc Super to go back through the thrall room to the end of the beam room, put each ball in their respective statues, and open the door again, and try again. I'm assuming if you leave, you'll have a different checkpoint and the doors will be closed. You'll need a Titan with a new Arc Super Code of the Missile to fly up back into the thrall room and keep putting those orbs back in until you guys kill the boss. It was annoying, trust me, so try to do it on the first try. Hopefully Bungie fixes some of this stuff soon. When you step in the center of the room, all the enemies will start spawning. Then jump back to the edge and behind one of these walls. Just stay behind one of these walls, kill ads. When the boss spawns, take its shield down and use supers. Use a Well of Radiance if you have it. Use sleepers. Kill ads coming to the left and right. You can have one person be responsible for taking ads on the left and right if you want. And take the boss out fast and that's it. We also found out another glitch where we went in the room and I hid behind the door before they closed. When my teammates died, the doors opened and only the boss was there. The boss despawned because I was too far away. But if you went up and attacked the boss, he should not despawn. So that's something to try out too. So I had to use my Arc Super to go back to the previous rooms, dunk the orbs into the statues, and try again. After finally killing the boss, you'll get the Waking Token of 𝒏𝒂𝒔𝒉. You'll play the rest of the dungeon like normal until you make it to the 𝒏𝒅𝒔𝒉. You can refer to the previous walkthrough in the video of the Shrouded Throne if you need to. Now, let's take a small breather here. Take a deep breath and let it out. Maybe get a drink, use the restroom. Why? Because you'll probably need it, especially if your light level is low. We did this part nearly 1,000 times, some exaggeration there, and tried it for hours and hours and hours on end. Our 550 something light levels were not helping, and you need a good strategy. We spent the weekend getting our light levels up to finish this part and figuring out strategies. I'll spare you the hours and hours of video footage it took to get past this part. If you're getting frustrated, let the ogre know he's adopted and remind him that orcs never cared about him. Ruin his self-esteem a little bit. The bright side is, if you keep messing up, you do have some epic music to listen to, because the music here is awesome. You'll have to do the same strat I told you earlier. Drop down to the left, use a Healing Rift and Barricade and kill the wizard at the start, but kill the snipers and goblins first. Either take out the Void Shield and use sleepers to kill the wizard, or take turns using your supers for each group of enemies. You should be able to eliminate the entire group of enemies in the wizard, or at least most of the wizard's health, with one good super. You might need to save your supers for the mini ogre that will spawn that you need to kill. You do not need to kill the boss if the cheese still works, but if not, you'll have to also kill the boss to advance. After getting 4 times the buff, slam dunk it and have a teammate distract the ogre. A minotaur will spawn in the corner and use your sleepers or a super to kill it. After killing it, an orb will appear here. Grab it and bank that orb. You have enough to summon a primeval. Just kidding. A primeval would suck here. A large blocker is more accurate. So while you're carrying the orb, the big ogre will shoot orbs that will kill you instantly, and while enemies spawn and try to kill you. You need to either shoot or block those orbs, or your team is going to get a guaranteed wipe here if these orbs hit you. You cannot outrun them, so don't try it. I use my Titan Sentinel shield to block all the ogre's orbs from them hurting me and my team. After dunking the orb into the statue on the other side, it will spawn a weaker ogre than the one in the room, but it's still fairly strong. All the enemies in the room will spawn back with it, so mayhem is ensuing. You have a choice of either focusing straight on the ogre to kill it or clearing ads from your position and then focusing on the ogre. Use sleepers and supers and kill that ogre.
He's almost dead, he's one shot.
After killing the ogre, you'll get the final charge token you need. Either do the cheese if that still works, or kill the ogre. Walk up the stairs in the next room and approach the statue and prove you're worthy, and take that bow from her. She wasn't using it anyway. She was just holding it there for eternity, waiting for you to have it. Give me that bow. Now you have the Wish Ender bow. It should drop at a power level at about 8 to 10 higher light levels of your best item. It looks badass and it's a freaking huge bow, and it looks great on the character's back. Perks include Queen's Wrath. While aiming down sights with a fully drawn bow, enemies behind walls are highlighted. High tension string. Tightly strung bow increases accuracy, slightly slower draw time, and slightly decreases stability. Anti-taken fletching, specialized to fight taken targets and increases accuracy. And broadhead, shoots a piercing arrowhead that damages a target on entry and exit. One shot can overpenetrate multiple targets. Test it out, shoot some arrows, use it for a while, you've earned it. It's definitely not an easy exotic to get at this moment in time. There is a black crystal to the statue. Shoot it with the bow and it will give you loot. These are scattered all throughout the dungeon and the Dreaming City. The loot I've gotten so far has not helped with my light level, so it's basically been a bunch of crap. A friend told me via the lore that these are actually eggs from Riven, I guess? So Riven gives birth to loot? Or maybe it's just hardened Riven poop and he shouts out a bunch of loot? Riven either has been getting it on a lot or has had to take a major crap everywhere. Think about that when you're fighting him next time. Here's some footage of me using the bow. You can see that it's nice and it's overall fun to use. It destroys enemies within one shot. Sometimes it does require headshots, which isn't hard. It worked decent on bosses. I really wouldn't use it for bosses. Doesn't work as well if enemies have an elemental shield, but if enemies like Scorn have a shield, it pierces through them no problem. In that case, you can take down the shield, bring out your bow, and headshot the enemy. It's really cool to see enemies through walls and helps you find the location much easier. If enemies are lined up, it will take out multiple enemies in one shot, which feels great. If you're fighting Taken, this is definitely a weapon you should be using. I have not tried it in PvP yet, but I heard there's currently a bug where it's not at full power after penetrating through the first half of the enemy. If you see someone who doesn't have the bow, shoot them in the face and remind them they don't have the bow yet. Just kidding, that's not nice. Thanks so much for watching this, you guys, and I hope it helps you out a ton. I know it should because I made this video as detailed as possible and spent way too long making this video. Give it a like if any tidbit helped. It really helps support the channel that makes these videos for no money. Subscribe for more videos just like these. We also have a website, 𝑘𝒊𝒔𝒉.com, you can check out. And we also have a podcast, you heard that right, a podcast called the Gamers Reality Podcast that you can find on most podcasting platforms such as iTunes and Spotify. You can also check out the links below in the description box and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and more. As always, thank you all for watching and I'll see you next time. Peace. I might have put in some funny bits at the end, so feel free to stay and watch.
Thanks, Ogre. Piece of
Yay!
shit. You're stupid, abandoned piece of shit. No one loves you. Not even Oryx did.
Okay, I got 15 seconds.
Why did he just left you down here? This Ogre's literally gonna be the death of me. Ogre! Suck a dick, Ogre, please! Jesus Christ, man! Shut over it, bomb in the ass like you do. Piss off! Brother, kill you.
that fucking wizard.
Whoever came up with this, I would have stabbed them. And then tell them to do it at 5 feet away and tell them how much they enjoy it.
No, at 5:45 light.
I quit, I'm going back.
This game's been out for 4 weeks. Let's make an activity that's light level 590.
Guardian down. Guardian down.
Quick little res party,
Oh my gosh, just 540 was carried. That's how we got the bow.
Bullshit, I worked my ass off for this.
Mate, this vandal is getting a streak. Mate, this vandal just did like 7. What the hell? Oh, good. Piss off. Son of a bitch.
You couldn't hide behind this pebble.
I mean, look at this.
Guardian down.
I am triggered, Bungie. I want a refund. My 100 and something pound I just spent
I
on
want a
the game.
refund of my money and my time.
Please give me a refund. I want a refund for all the money I spent over the Destiny franchise.